Welcome back, y'all. All right, we got through the holidays, we got through Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff, and now it's back to the real world, back to work, back to trapping. I just want to show you guys something real quick. I just stopped here to set a trap, and I wanted to just point out something that I've shown on a couple of my previous videos about these three-way intersections, where to set them and things like that. So what we got here, we got a road going back this way and here, and then we got a T intersection. So I stopped, drove past the T, stopped to set a trap. And I know I talked about in previous videos that when you set a T intersection, in order to come straight off of the leg of the T into the top part of the T and set the trap. I got out of the truck, walked over, pile of what looks to be Bobcat, maybe a very small coyote, but predator scat nonetheless. And it is right there in the top of this T intersection. There's the center point of our road coming out. Bang, poop. So just to add to the reality of what I was saying on those previous videos about the T intersections, set the top of the T. We're about to punch a trap in here. You guys stick around, it's gonna be a good one. All right, first day check on this piece. It's one of these pieces that I've been trapping for 4 or 5 years, so kind of know all the good hot spots and everything on it. Right here, just about a 3-year-old growth clear cut, and then back behind us is mature trees. You got this road that just kind of meanders and winds through the middle of this grown over clear cut. We got a nice bobcat this morning, man. I mean, a pretty one. Caught a few raccoons, totally expected on the first night, but that is a beautiful spotted up tom bobcat. So we're gonna get this fella handled, get this set remade. I believe we had a double dirt hole set in here. No, scratch that. Just a regular single dirt hole. We had the double dirt hole down here that we haven't made it to check yet. We had a single dirt hole in here with some Widowmaker and Bounty Hunter, I believe. It was a food lure. I do remember that. It was either Chuck Wagon or Bounty Hunter and some Mark Jr.'s Widowmaker. But nice big bobcat. First day check. Getting after it. What's up, guys? All right, got a big announcement for Coastal Carolina Outdoors. We are now officially being sponsored by none other than Minnesota Trapline Products. You guys know I put it in all my videos. That's where I get all my trapping supplies from. Traps, bait, lure, all my hardware, setting gear, everything like that, all comes from Minnesota. I've been doing business with these guys for a long time, and we're super, super excited that they picked us up as a sponsor. We got our first official care package here in today. About to unbox that and get into it. Got us a new hat. Still rocking the same old sweatshirt. But a big special shout out thanks to Luke and the guys at Minnesota Trapline. It's where I get all my trapping supplies from. It's where I highly recommend everybody else get all their trapping supplies from. Check them out. I'll put a link in the description. Now back to the video. All right, so I know I've been harping on these Y intersections, which is what we got here. A big three-way intersection. I've been harping on these Y intersections the last few videos about setting the point of that Y. This one here is an exception. Back up here where you might can see a little bit better. So, big three-way intersection. I'm standing on the third leg of the road here. But right out here in the middle, we got this triangle of grass, basically. And I know a lot of times as trappers, we try to set our traps where people won't run them over. And that can get kind of difficult, setting the shoulders of the roads and things like that. But that triangle of grass, I'm going to put a trap right dead center of it. I do it every year. I usually catch a few bobcats right here. But that's my exception to the rule with the Y intersection, setting the points. Is setting dead center of that big triangle of grass where nobody drives. I mean, you can see very clearly where everybody drives. Nobody's going to drive over that grass. It's centrally located right in the middle of that Y, so it serves the same purpose as setting the point of the Y where everything walks by it. Exception to the rule, giant triangle of grass, set the middle. morning. Well, this might turn into a bobcat trapping video. Got another cat. This is a different place than where we caught the first one, but if you look here, we got this little road coming out, big heavy timbered stuff back here, and then we got a big, pretty open food plot. And right where that road comes out into the food plot, we set that trap on the corner. I had a trash pile set here, just simply because the owner had sent me some videos a month or so ago before I came in here trapping. He had 3 bobcats on camera right back here by his feeder. So we made a trash pile set, put a little Kathmandu on the top, drilled that hole in at a sharp angle, and was targeting a bobcat. We got one. So what I mean when I say trash pile set, so cats will bury their food, they'll cover it up. They'll take leaves and sticks and brush and stuff like that and cover up a kill and then come back later for it. So what I do is I kind of try to mimic that just with a little bit of dirt, a pile of grass like that. Kind of a cubby set, high backing, but instead of drilling my hole down at a 45 like I do on a Coyote set, I like to drill it super flat, straight under that pile. There's the old hole there. There's a lot more going on a trash pile set than it is on my typical Coyote sets. I know I've said before I don't like high backings, but if I'm doing a trash pile, I definitely want to keep it a little higher than normal to keep a cat from trying to work from the backside. So traps back set, holes here, we're offset a little to the left. So get that trap bedded in there real good. If you notice, I got that trap set down deeper than ground level by about an inch, inch and a half. Pack the inside of your jaws good. So if you notice how sharp of an angle that bait hole is in there, I want it underneath this trash pile, not straight down like that. We actually shot a rabbit the other day. Anytime I get rabbits, I like to pull the tail off of them. It makes for a good visual attractant. Throw that right down in the hole. So now that cat's got something to look at when he's approaching the set. Kathmandu, good go-to bobcat lure that I like. Catch a lot of cats on this and coyotes. Take a little bit, put it right on top of that trash pile. And that's it. That's our bobcat trash pile remake. You can do a little bit of foot guides with some dirt clods and stuff like that. Nothing serious, but that's gonna force a cat to work that from the front. He's gonna see that rabbit tail down in there, visual attractant, smell, and it's as much of a cubby set as I like to make around this part. I absolutely love it when a plan comes together. I opened the video with this set. If you guys remember, this T set in the road. Just finally nailed us a coyote here. So it's January here. It's cold now, but the first week that we started this line, it was not cold. 2 days ago, it was 84 degrees. We had record high temps for January, and it has absolutely just shut these critters down. Night before last got chilly. We got into like the mid 30s. It was probably like 34, 35 yesterday morning. Today was 29 at daylight. We had a good hard frost come through, and it's really got these critters moving. So one thing I've noticed, and you guys can comment, drop a comment if you found the same thing for your areas. If you have consistently warm temperatures, trapping's okay. If you have consistently cool temperatures, trapping's okay. But when we have these big fluctuations in temperature, it just absolutely shuts the animals down. It shuts everything down. It shuts down the fishing, the hunting, the trapping, everything. And I believe that's what happened to us, happened to me last week, was we just had extremely high temps during the day, then we'd drop at night. And then the next day might be 60 degrees and like 40 or 45 at night. And then we get 80 degrees and 50 degrees at night. And we've had 2 consistent days of cool weather now I just caught a raccoon back here and a coyote here. This is only like my 4th or 5th trap this morning that I've checked. So I am praying, because I've only caught 1 coyote and 1 bobcat on this line this whole week. I'm praying that today we just got an absolute bumper crop and I got 4, 5, 6 coyotes in here to make up for some lost time. But set the top of those tees, baby. Still working on my morning coffee. Ciao, bobcat. Nice little cat. I just set this trap in yesterday. Even though I've been out here a week, I still set traps. Like, I constantly set traps on my line, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 a day, just as I see good spots, as I see tracks and sign and scat and things like that. I throw fresh traps in almost every day. I just punched that one in yesterday. So what we got here, we just got a road coming through this old grown over clear cut. I've actually caught a lot of bobcats on this road in the past. And right here was just there used to be a little trail that came out of there, and they've kind of let it grow up. So I sat right at that little trailhead, punched the dirt hole set in, got us a bobcat. So fingers crossed, hands folded, praying hard that today's the day, man, that we rack them up. So far, I'm about 8 traps deep and 3 catches, so I think this might be it. Oh yeah, today is the day. 2nd coyote this morning. So we're up to 2 coyotes now and a bobcat, and I still got oh man. Every time I say this on a video, I end up jinxing myself, but I still got a lot of traps left to run. And I got some really good spots set that I'm looking forward to getting there and checking. This is another fresh trap. So the first coyote this morning, that trap's been in the ground about 8 days. Hadn't had any action on it. No fresh bait, lure, or anything like that, and caught a coyote. The bobcat trap was yesterday. It got set, and I'm pretty sure this one got set either yesterday or the day before, so this only had about a 24 to 48 hour soak. But if you look right here, there's just a little tiny food plot right here. It's less than a half acre. We got our road coming down here, long straight stretch, and then just there was a little bit of a Y, a little bit of a point on this field, and we came right there. It was either a single or double dirt hole set, I can't remember, but it was a dirt hole set. We had Widowmaker in one hole and High Plains Predator Call in the other. A little bit of a gland lure. It's breeding season, so we're trying to kind of key to that glandular desire that the coyotes have right now. Mid-January, like I say, breeding season, and we're stacking the dogs today. That right there, folks, number 3 today. So this is an older trap. Look, you can see his tracks coming down the road. Walk right down there. Pow. So this is number 3 for today. This was a double dirt hole set. As you can see here, you got this road coming up out of the trees into this big clear cut, opening up into this clear cut. We got a little bit of trees that comes all the way to the road and then stops right here. It's just a cutoff. So it's kind of a little pinch point, a little funnel. Had that trap in. That's an old trap. That trap's been in 8 days. I've actually had possum tracks on this trap almost every night. And I got my trigger set a little heavier. They're about 3 to 3.5 pounds to try to avoid the possum catches so much. And the possums just walked on it, hadn't got caught. The right critter finally passed by it. Nice coyote here. Like I say, man, number 3 for today. So we're up to 3 coyotes, a bobcat, a coon, and 1 big old pig today. Doing work. All right, here's something a little different. Bobcat. The bobcat itself isn't different, but I caught him on a scent post set. Had a couple of raccoons in this trap, over the last week or so, but picked up this nice cat this morning. You can see my stick laying in there. That was my scent post. I'll show you guys that here in a minute once I get this thing handled, but nice bobcat on a scent post. I'm just gonna move that trap over a little bit. He made a pretty big mess on that catch site, but that's my stick. I love a stick like this for a scent post. The way I set it is trap here, stick about 10, I go to about 10 to 12 inches on the scent post set versus the 8 to 9 on a dirt hole or a flat. But I like these sticks because this crook going backwards, I point that away from the trap, and that's usually gonna keep anything from working the backside. A coyote is not gonna wanna walk and stick his head underneath this crook of this stick. And then this little knob right here is perfect to put your lure on. So what I do is I just drill that hole, put the stick in there, and then just take my hammer and just pack it in tight around there. The reason you want it packed in tight is if a cat or a coyote comes up here and tries to rub on this stick, you don't want it to be able to knock it over. You want it to be firm in that ground where if he rubs on it, it's not gonna fall over, mess your trap up or something like that. So then, like I say, I'll come straight back like 6 o'clock, over a little bit. I like a good 10 to 12 inches on my scent post. I'll go a little bit of coyote urine and some Mark June Coyote Frenzy. I love using this stuff on scent post sets. It's just coyote gland is all it is. I'll put that little dab of lure right on that little knot, and go back with the urine here, a little on top. I never go high with it on this post. I like to keep it down here and on the base. That's gonna make him come up here, stick his nose here, and his feet are gonna be right around that trap bed. And that is my standard scent post set I like to run this time of year, January, February, during the breeding season. Catches coyotes, also catches bobcats. Now this one might be the prettiest one of the day. That thing is big. Wow. Holy crap. That is a huge coyote. Big bushy blonde. So what we got here, we got a three-way intersection here. The road peels off, comes back out on the main road. You actually look right here. I got a trap here and this one here with the coyote in it. And you see this big divot. I have traditionally caught coyotes here year after year after year. I always set a trap right here. I decided to double it this year because it's such a good spot. I wanted to double it. And man, when I came around the corner and saw this guy bouncing, I was praying there was another one in here. But we're gonna go ahead and close the video out with this one, man. It's been a bumper crop day. This makes 4 coyotes as of right now. I still got about a dozen traps or so left to check. So I may add in another coyote retrospective if I catch another one. Humongous strawberry blonde. That is a beautiful coyote. That coyote is definitely getting skinned and tanned and put on my wall. 4 on a day, bobcat, coon, bonus pig. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I hope this video helps some people. My channel is all about teaching trapping and helping people catch more coyotes, catch more cats, and just being more successful with their predator management on their property. So I hope everything that I put out there helps somebody. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.